What is going on, guys? It is your one of the IWC Gamers Goon here today with your August 27th AEW review on a Friday morning. AEW was on a rare Thursday night, but we are doing this Friday morning because last night, I'm going to be honest with you, my neck was killing me. Really didn't feel like sitting here and giving you a full review because it was just... My neck was not in the best place. Every few weeks, my neck kind of like gets like this weird like cramp type of thing. So I wanted to rest a little bit last night. So that's what we did. And I'm up early here this morning because I have a lot to do today. So later today, I will be joining DJ Storms on his channel. We will be talking Backlash. Oh, my bad. Payback, which will be uploaded tomorrow on his channel. But we will be doing that immediately following SmackDown. So, busy day ahead for me. Have a lot of personal things I have to attend to today, too, as well. So, but let's get right into it. This show was the reintroduction of the live ticketed fans were in the arena at the Daily's Place. So, AEW... They went through all the precautions. They social distance. I believe you had to wear a mask if you were walking around. You were allowed to take your mask off if you were like eating or getting a drink or something like that. But you were allowed to be at the arena. You had to stay about 6 feet distance from any other group. They made sure that none of the rows were gonna have any interactions. They had separate rows. Really good job by AEW to go through all the precautions to finally get those live fans back. And it literally took me a matter of 3 seconds to absolutely praise this, because once we saw the live fans back in attendance, it just gave me chills. I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels special already. And what better way to make it feel even more special than starting the show off with a Chris Jericho entrance to come onto commentary. Chris Jericho comes down with Judas, and we hear the crowd start singing Judas. What a moment. What a moment. But then we start off the actual show with the tag team gauntlet match to determine the number one contender for Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega's tag team titles. We started off with the Young Bucks versus the Natural Nightmares. Dustin and QT early on were out wrestling the Young Bucks. Dustin looked great. He ended up hitting a Canadian driver to Matt Jackson. He tagged in QT Marshall, and Matt then made the hot tag to Nick Jackson. The Bucks started hitting super kicks on to basically both men. QT almost ended up getting a roll-up pin, but the Bucks ended up hitting a super kick to the shins of QT Marshall, and then they do the BTE trigger, a version of like the V trigger, but it was both of them hitting QT Marshall, and they pin QT Marshall. A solid start, and then they get the Best Friends next. The Best Friends, they waste no time. Chuck Taylor early fakes a knee injury, allowing Nick Jackson to focus on Trent for a little bit. Trent ends up hitting a spear. The Best Friends then hit a series of knees to Matt Jackson. Matt then kicks out. The Best Friends keep on the attack until Nick Jackson ends up hitting a German onto the like the side of the ring apron. He tags in Matt. Matt brings up the tempo a little bit. He hits a spinning stunner into a 2 count. Then he hits the series of the Northern Lights suplexes. Matt counters that with a DDT. Trent counters that with a DDT to Matt Jackson. Chuck then hits the spine buster on the outside, tags in Chuck, and they hit soul food, and then we get the big hugging moment. The Best Friends then go for a strong zero, which got converted into a roll-up. The Bucks, it ends up getting kicked out on. The Bucks then they leverage like Trent between Matt Jackson and the outside, and they hit a flip onto that, and then they bring Trent back into the ring, hold him up on the ropes, and with Matt Jackson, and once again hits a 450 splash onto him. So he's just leveraged up, and then boom. So that was a cool spot in the match. Then the Bucks end up going for the Meltzer driver to end things, and we see Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Page. He grabs the foot of Matt Jackson while he's going up for the Meltzer driver, and causes the Young Bucks to be distracted for a little bit, allowing for a roll-up, and the best friends end up picking up the victory. Then we start seeing some tension between the Young Bucks, just like questioning why Page did what he did. And then we have FTR come down for the best friends, come back to the commercial. FTR has the advantage early, obviously. And this was just good tag team wrestling here from the FTR guys. They isolated Chuck, focused on the knee. Chuck ended up having to tap out because Taylor was he had nobody. They got Trent just completely isolated away from the match. He was a non-factor in the ending here, and then they just focused on the knee that was told earlier with Chuck, so Chuck had to tap out. And we will see the FTR guys verse Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega at All Out. Very good storytelling in this. Hangman Page and the Bucks, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but they're starting to fall apart. The Elite is. And then, obviously, we're seeing FTR kind of bring an influence to what Hangman Page does. So, maybe that's going to play into something at All Out. Really good storytelling with the Hangman stuff. A really solid opening match, about 30 minutes. Did what it needed to do. FTR is the right guys here. And I'm excited to see what they can do at All Out with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Next, we have the announcement of the Casino Battle Royale at All Out for the AEW Championship #1 contender spot. So that is going to be a big match. Then we go back and we have Lance Archer versus Sean Maluda. Archer, obviously, not much here, just being the dominant guy that he is, ends up winning. Then we have Jake the Snake cut a promo afterwards saying that Archer is going to win the Casino Battle Royale. And then Lance Archer says yes, because everybody dies. Then we have somebody's music hit, and who else other than Taz, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks? They come on out. Taz says Lance won't win, but a member from Team Taz will. Taz says he's trying to keep this calm, but then Darby Allin comes out on a skateboard, drop kicks Ricky Starks. They fight into the back. It gave me chills seeing Brian Cage and Lance Archer just stare at each other while Taz was in the room with them. That'd be a big match. That'd be a really big match. So that'd be really interesting to see. Next, we had MJF with a walker. Asks if Lee thinks that it's funny that he's on a walker. Lee's like, no, I wasn't laughing. But that was while they're getting ready to walk to the ring for MJF's contract signing. Then, while we're waiting to get back in the ring, we are announced. We're not really announced. We're getting hyped up for the Shida versus Thunder Rosa match. I forgot to mention it last week. Thunder Rosa did make her AEW debut, and she will be challenging Hikaru Shida at All Out. I think it's great for the women's division. Thunder Rosa can really help elevate the caliber of wrestling we see in that women's division. So it's a really good thing that Shida and Thunder Rosa are going to get a spot at All Out. I think that could be a really good match. Then we get back into the actual ring. We have MJF come on out to the ring for the contract signing. MJF starts it off by telling Moxley that he really would appreciate if he would social distance, just like his hairline. Mox says, "You'll get there one day, buddy, but that's after you hit your puberty." MJF then says he'll never, MJF says that he never ended up getting the hype of Jon Moxley because he was a one-trick pony. But you know what? He might be wrong, because Mox is good. He says a few months ago, Mike Tyson, he said, "I wouldn't want to be with you in a back alley." He said, "I wouldn't want to be there either." MJF then goes on to say that But on Saturday, September 5th, we're going to be in a wrestling ring. So, John, you're in danger. Because he is a wrestling prodigy. MJF's a wrestling prodigy. And he said he will pinpoint John's weaknesses and tear him apart like he is a brain surgeon. And he says, causing the glorified goon John Moxley to panic. He said John wants him everywhere, but in between those ropes. Says John grew up idolizing guys like Sandman, New Jack, Onieta. And he said, you know what? Those guys are hot garbage. MJF said, I studied actual wrestlers. I studied the Tully Blanchards of the world. MJF finished it off saying, I will beat you at All Out, John Moxley. And make sure you tell your hot wife, Renee, to give me a call. So giving a little teaser there that maybe Renee might be coming to AEW. And Mox said, then we have Mox. He says, you know what? I might not be able to use the paradigm shift, but at least that'll force me to be creative on that Saturday. He signs the paper. MJF says, what an idiot. You just signed away. And then Mox says, am I the idiot? Because I don't think you saw the stipulation on page 17. And then MJF's like, what's on page 17? And on page 17, it says John Moxley next week will get to face the lawyer of MJF, and the paradigm shift will be in effect. And it's just, if the lawyer doesn't show up, the contract's null and void. So, very tough situation here for MJF. He has to put his lawyer at risk. Next, we have the Lucha Brothers the Lucha Brothers, the Butcher, with the Butcher and the Blade versus Griff Garrison, Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss, and Brian Pillman Jr. Like I said, not a fan of these 8-man tag team matches. I've been saying it. Just too much goes on. You need to save it. You need to keep it for moments like we had at the Stadium Stampede where it requires an 8-man tag match. The more 8-man tag matches we get, the less special they are. So I just don't like it. The Butcher and the Blade end up picking up the Butcher and the Blade with the Lucha Brothers end up picking the win here. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad match. It just isn't something special. It's not something that I want to sit down and break down piece by piece just because it's an 8-man tag match with really no backstory. It's just there to get the Lucha Bros and the Butcher and the Blade dynamic over. It was really not even needed. Next, we have the Dark Order celebration. We have the Dark Order carrying out a casket and they say it's time to bid farewell to Cody. They open up the casket and it's number 10. It's not Cody. It says they are over here to make here to make their way for Mr. Brody. Brody says that last December, everybody was sitting there laughing at the guys in the Dark Order. And last December, he was sitting in prison because of people like Tony, people like us. He says, I'm tired of it. The open challenge, it's over. No more indie wrestlers. Get off my TV. It's my television time now. And then he says, now, Dark Order has a newest member I'd like to welcome. The Queen Slayer, Anna Jay, number 99. So she's the newest member. It is official. Then we have Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall coming on out to attack the Dark Order. The Dark Order stops them. Scorpio Sky comes on out for a stare down with Brody. Anna Jay slaps Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky turns around into a clothesline from Brody. And then we have Cardona come down to attack the Dark Order. And somehow, some way, the 4 men that came down and attacked the Dark Order ended up scaring off the Dark Order. So the Dark Order had a little face-to-face, stare down at the end. So I think we might be getting that Please don't give me another 8-man tag next week, please. Next, we had Hangman being interviewed at the bar. The Young Bucks come up on into his interview, say that, you know what, we know why you did it. You're insecure. All we wanted was a friend. Truth is that Hangman is a drunk. He's just a drunk. And he is kicked out of the Elite. No. We're starting to see the cracks form within the Elite. Right now, Cody's barely even an Elite member. Kenny, he's barely even an Elite member at this time, basically. The Young Bucks are really the only ones left. They're really the only ones left. It's a shame. And I imagine Kenny's next. I imagine Kenny will fully break apart from the Elite. Next, we have the role model of wrestling. The role model of AEW. I'm the role model of the IWC. But we're talking about the role model of wrestling. Britt Baker with Reba and Penelope Ford versus Big Swole. Britt Baker says, if you win tonight, you can have any match that you want. Let's be honest, this match really didn't need to be here, but obviously Britt Baker's the star of the match. This match, you really didn't need it. Obviously, still going to protect Britt Baker. She's injured still. You're not going to have her go out there and actually wrestle herself. Or you're not going to have Big Swole end up actually making any physical attack on Britt Baker. Reba, in this match, ended up costing the match. Hits Penelope Ford with the crutch that Britt Baker has. And that allows Swole to end up picking up the win. Didn't need to be there. Wasn't anything too special. It really is just there to be the bridge to the match at All Out, which is probably going to be Swole versus Britt. I assume Britt is going to be good to go by All Out. So I imagine that it's probably going to be something along the lines of like a no disqualification match between Swole and Britt, just because Swole will want to inflict as much damage as possible on Britt Baker. So next, we have the Dark Order come on down after this match with a with like a pamphlet, like a pamphlet type of thing. They come on down and they offer Tay Conti the pamphlet to join the Dark Order. And we see Tay Conti and Anna Jay hug it out afterwards. So I really like the idea. It's a fantastic idea to add Tay Conti to the Dark Order and keep her with Anna Jay. I really like to see them. That'd be really good. That'd be really, really good. And next, we finished the show off with the main event. We had Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy. And I'm going to be honest with you, this match should have been saved to All Out. This match felt rushed. This match was given about maybe 10 minutes. I think it started within like the last 10 minutes. Really short match. We had Sammy ended up picking up the win by putting Matt Hardy through the table. Sammy busted open as well. But that was not where it ended, because we had Orange Cassidy run on out to attack Jericho on commentary, and they lead into a pull-apart brawl. That was the highlight of the last 10 minutes, was Jericho and Cassidy. I can't wait for their match at All Out. Sammy and Matt, I'm a big fan of Sammy. I'm a big fan of Matt. It was too rushed. You didn't let it ever develop. I would have waited till All Out if it was me. Anyways, I will get on out of here. If you guys aren't already, make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you do hit that notification bell. Make sure you come join me this weekend, because we will be previewing why do I keep calling it Backlash? Backlash, Payback, same thing. I will be previewing Payback this week, and I don't know if I will be reviewing it because I will be out of town, and I want to try to be respectful to the people's house that I'm going to be attending, so I don't necessarily want to do a video, but I'll see what I can do. I don't even know if I'm going to be watching Payback live. And also Raw might not be watched live. I might just do a video maybe next Wednesday morning just to sum up both Payback and Raw. I think that might be where I'm heading for. We'll see. It'll be a last-second decision to actually film a video if I do to review the shows. But for right now, the plan is probably Wednesday. And make sure you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go see the Monday Night Raw review. We talked about Keith Lee. Later tonight, I will be joining DJ Storm. So if you guys want to go over to his channel tomorrow on Saturday, there will be stuff over there with me and him talking about Payback. And tomorrow, you're going to get mine side of the Payback preview. So we have a lot coming up on the channel. We might not have the reviews, but we will have a review of Payback. It might not be the same time as you're all used to. So make sure you're here for all of that. As always, make sure you go follow the Twitter at GamersGoonYT, the Instagram at thegoongameryt, and just make sure you guys are being interactive with the channel. Make sure you guys share if you like what you see here. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Right now, it's been your role model of the IWC Gamers Goon, and I will see you guys in the next video.